For some reason, Paul Manafort, Donald Trump's former campaign manager, who of course was convicted 2 separate times in both Washington, D.C. and Virginia, and was then later, of course, pardoned by Donald Trump, but he was convicted of, among many other things, giving information to the Russians from the Trump campaign. So as I said, Manafort sits down with Business Insider, does an interview with him, God knows why, because the man gave up the farm. For the first time ever, Manafort publicly admitted that yes, he was feeding information from the Trump campaign, information that was not public, to his contact over in Russia, who the United States government determined was in fact a Russian government asset. That person's name, by the way, was Konstantin Kilimnik. And Manafort says, yeah, I was giving Kilimnik, I was ordering, Gates, not Matt Gates, but I was ordering Gates to give the information to Kilimnik. Some of it was already public. Some of it was public, but a lot of it wasn't. And Manafort says he was doing this because, not because he wanted the Russians to help with Trump's campaign, but because he wanted to set up future business deals and show them like, hey, Hillary's vulnerable, so I'm giving you this information. Trump's going to get in office. Bob's your uncle. We're going to make a lot of money. But he also talked to them about policy. He talked to them about policy in the Ukraine, talked to them about other foreign matters. And again, these are things that Manafort's just like, yeah, I did it. And of course, Manafort doesn't have to worry about admitting these things anymore. 1, he was already convicted. 2, he was then pardoned. So he has no fear of being reconvicted for any of this. That can't happen. He's not going to go back to jail. The dude's free. So of course he can admit it. Nothing matters anymore. It's like, yeah, we did it. I colluded. Of course, the campaign itself did not collude, he maintains. However, and here's where the problem is for Manafort. What you did here, bud, I don't know if you know this, but the guy that pardoned you, your old boss, Donnie, he filed a lawsuit against Hillary Clinton and the DNC and a bunch of other people, alleging that they lied about him repeatedly during the 2016 campaign by claiming that the campaign was somehow colluding with Russia. Can you imagine such an outlandish claim? But then along comes Manafort in this interview and he's like, yeah, basically I was colluding with Russia. Which it would seem would verify all of those claims that Hillary Clinton, the DNC, and the Democrats were making at the time. This completely blows up Donald Trump's own lawsuit. Because here's the thing. In order to prove defamation, they would have to prove, right, that this was done maliciously and intentionally by Hillary, DNC, again, all those other folks. But now that Manafort freely admits that he did do the things he was convicted of and pardoned for, Hillary Clinton's people can go to court and be like, what are you talking about? It's a lie. Manafort admitted it. He admitted he was colluding. We said there was collusion. Boom. What else do you need? Because it doesn't have to be everybody in the campaign. It doesn't even have to be Trump himself. If one person in that campaign, which they admit they were talking with the Russians, were giving them insider information that nobody else had, Hillary and the DNC didn't lie. Technically, legally speaking, they didn't lie. So I don't know what's left. Trump's lawsuit was already on shaky ground to begin with, and now this Manafort revelation is likely to be the final nail in the coffin for that idiotic lawsuit that somebody somewhere convinced Donald Trump it was a good idea to file. This is Hattie. Hattie wants to know why you have not subscribed to our channel. You obviously like our videos, so do us a favor and subscribe.